If your car's really one of the top-class vehicles in the country, you could well find yourself travelling miles from home to one of the great custom car shows. After all, one of the main purposes of building and owning custom cars is to get together and show them off publicly. And some of the chassis at this particular show are really quite well put together. Enthusiasts gather to display their cars to all and sundry and accept the judgments of their peers in a sort of mechanical beauty contest. This is a chance to stare and marvel at cars you may never have seen the like of before, in a room swamped with chrome-plated dreams. All the while, these people are talking about cars still, and bikes, other people's and their own. As they mill around there, let me just show you something a little special. This has got to be the loudest pink Volvo you're ever going to see. The roof's been chopped up and literally thrown away, and the whole car's been lowered about 5 inches. It's interesting to note that apart from being technically brilliant, it's also devastatingly pink. Now, take the Helicar, a stunning piece of chrome-plated fantasy, a bubble with a difference. Here's motoring journalist extraordinaire Richard Nichols.
Well, I've walked round the show today and I've been trying to find something that would typify exactly what's been going on here today. Now, we've had a look at the Helicar, which is a completely outrageous and over-the-top customising job of something that was a helicopter to begin with and a truck now. And we've looked at the interior of that beautiful pink Volvo, which is all hand-embroidered and not the sort of thing that you would want to sit on, never mind drive to the chip shop or have your takeaways in after the cinema. And we've ended up here with the Ford Pop, which is British Rodding set piece. It's a classic shape and a classic looking car, which most people will recognise and therefore understand that things here are not as they used to be. Certainly not in Henry's day. When you start on a car, the first thing you can do to it is change the wheels. It's a very, very easy job to do, and it makes the most dramatic improvement. If you have a dirty car, a Ford Escort or whatever it is, and just wash the wheels, it looks 10 times better. So putting a set of chrome wheels on a full pop or any other car will make it immensely more attractive. So that's the first place that everybody starts. Ground up, we will change the wheels, we will put something chromy and shiny on, and we'll make it look a bit special. And from there on, the sky's the limit. Now, the pop here has been radically changed. The chassis has been beautifully reworked and strengthened to take the power of the new engine, and it's been hand-painted to the same standard as the rest of the bodywork. The suspension's been finely chromed and detailed. The engineering is excellent. The detailing is superb. The engine, and that too has been taken to pieces, lovingly rebuilt to give the sort of performance that you'd expect from a modern road-going car, and also look good. So the interior has been rebuilt to a high standard, so what you end up with is something that looks really attractive but still pulls the car around the streets.
This is all part of that great American heritage from the 50s, and the styles and shapes you see here are the ones born and bred on the street and strips of the West Coast. Somewhere here you're bound to find everything from the Beach Boys' little Deuce Coupe right down to these gleaming moon discs. Tucked away somewhere in the corner behind the vans, the low riders are lurking. The dream, the vision, the language, they're all American. It's at shows like this that the very best that there is to offer is gathered together under one roof in a staggering variety of shapes and sizes. For instance, take a little glance at this V12 engine Model T. Extravagance like this was never dreamed of in the Ford factory at the beginning of the century. And as Sam Goldwyn might have said, if Henry Ford were alive today, he'd turn in his grave. There are Cortinas that no one at Ford's would ever recognize as one of their own. And as for this Morris Minor, well, any self-respecting district nurse would probably slap a poultice on it. Now, something a little unusual for you, a Mini with a difference. Well, a lot of the British flavour there, but apart from that, of course, the show's got loads of car styles of the classic street rods, the Californian style. There's a distinct tendency to look around and wonder whether anyone knows what it's all about. This fella here, being asked the question by the young child, obviously knows the answers, but he considers it just a little too technical to tell the kid about.
Hello. You're now looking at a truck as opposed to cars and motorcycles and things. Makes a change. What you're looking at now is a Scammell 1968 Highwayman, ex-fairground tow truck. Came to me from a customer, offered at a very, very silly price, had to take it, and hence you see what you see. Started out, ripped the whole thing to pieces, and generally built it up bolt by bolt. Paintwork is metal flake, silver global with candies. Reason for doing it now, just to be different. Fed up with cars, so we've gone on to a truck and hopefully won a little bit better than the average one you see in the street. The wife, not too keen on it. I think she put a brick through the screen if she could.
Could this possibly be cruelty to dumb fish?
I'm Kenny McCallum. I'm from Glasgow. And up in Glasgow, there's not very much customised cars about. So 3 years ago, I decided to put it off the road and tidy it up a bit. It was off the road for 2 years. We slung in a Ford Essex V6 engine. There's a total of about 1,500 quid's worth of chrome plating on the whole car. The inside of the engine is tidy as the outside engine, and it performs very well. The paintwork is it's a mixture of indigo blue global and mirror flake, chosen mainly because it's a very forgiving type of paint, and because I hadn't done much painting before, we thought if we're going to make mistakes, then we might be able to hide them a bit better using this type of paint. From there we went to the interior of the car. The interior of the car is kitted out in 37 yards, deep buttoned Draylon velvet. There's a cocktail bar, television set, telephone, quadraphonic cassette. The back axle's been changed round, a lot of chrome work underneath that as well. I try to get to as many shows as possible. The trouble is in Scotland there's nothing at all to go to.
This car is a 1967 Mercury Cougar. Bought it 2 years ago in a sorry state. Doors were hanging off, no brakes, engine was no good, quite a few things wrong with it. We spent quite a bit of time and a lot of money, replaced the engine with a full raced engine, lots of mechanical work, and of course the body work. Just stripped all back to bare metal and plated and made nice up to this standard. There's not many of these cars in the country. That's one of the reasons why I picked on this car. And this is what turns out. It's basically a Ford yellow with various different colours. There's plenty of lacquer over the top and just plenty of chrome and lots of hard work keeping it clean.
Only a small handful of people will win awards. In return for their several years of hard labour, the favoured few win a chrome-plated cup and enough cash for a couple of bottles of high-class bubbly to celebrate. So why do they all bother? Well, if it's not for the money, then it can only be for the fame.
It'll come back a bit as the jack goes up.
That's okay, as long as you can get it in.